Billy Campbell in the house.
How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
I can't complain. Fire one of these bad boys up.
Alright. Today's episode is brought to you by 420 Glue. So that's what we're smoking right now. Veganics 101, vegan grown, no anti-chemical salt, heavy metals, or animal byproducts, no pesticides.
No cone on the end either. According to the kid, he called it old school. I called him an asshole.
Alright, so it's 100% my fart smell good joint.
Yeah. Like Grandpa used to smoke.
Your grandpa used to smoke.
Well, yeah, he's dead now. You know.
Alright, sit down with stand-up comedian Billy Campbell. Alright, so how many years have you been doing comedy now?
I'm working on my second year now.
Okay, so you're fresh meat still. This is around the time that most people who try stand-up comedy will quit.
Ah.
So how often do you think about quitting?
Never.
Never?
Never.
That's good.
I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Hey, that's a good mentality, man. It's a great mentality to have. I'm the same way, man. Like, if I could do this when I'm 80, then fuck yeah, let's shoot for it, man. Why stop? You have nothing to lose. Low risk, high reward.
Well, it's nice to, have something to bring to the table, something that actually we make people smile.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's no better job in the world than to just make people smile.
Yeah. I mean, you make people smile, but I make people laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, that Billy Campbell, he's cute.
It's the fluffy hair.
Speaking of the fluffy hair, you look like somebody who doesn't realize that they have hair growing out of their head. I don't know why. Sometimes you come, it's just like, bam.
I'm hoping, if I pretend like I don't notice, nobody else will either.
Oh, gotcha. Like,
It's
oh, it
not
just
working
looks
out
so
for it.
comfortable.
Well, I used to spend like a couple hours at a time when I first started doing this, right? Straightening my hair, getting it all pretty and all that and everything. And then one night I had a quick call for a show. I didn't have time to do my hair. I was like, well, guess I'm going on stage. And when I got off stage, everybody was like, dude, that hair was amazing. You had me hooked from the get-go because as soon as you walked on stage, I was already laughing.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just leave it alone.
Like, you intentionally did it to be funny and it just... you unintentionally did it and ended up being funny.
Yeah.
Nice. I love it.
And ever since then, people compliment me on all the time. Like, my kids, they got the same exact hair. My sons were like, Dad, I want hair just like yours. I'm like, just grow it out, man.
Yeah.
My oldest boy's like, that sounds like so much work. I'm like, dude, that is the exact opposite of what it is.
Yeah, compared to, just brushing it every day,
You literally just don't do anything with it.
It's better than having to fucking constantly cut it, People think I'm just trying to be stylish when really I'm just fucking broke and I don't want to... I used to cut my own hair. I just got tired of doing it all the time,
It's like the sweatpants of the head.
Yeah.
It's like I'm in my total comfort zone.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck. Anyway, so what made you want to get into stand-up comedy?
Well, people always told me that, when I go to tell a story or whatever, that I hook really in from the get-go and you just want to listen to the story no matter how crappy it turns out to be.
Yeah.
And one of my buddies, before he passed away, said, man, I hope you do something with that one day. And, I was always the funny friend and whatnot. And it never really dawned on me to do stand-up up until I started posting random things on Facebook just for shits and giggles. And then I started getting a following. And then when I hit somewhere around like 2,000 people on my friends list, everybody was going, dude, you need to do stand-up. I was like, I'm kind of running out of excuses, aren't I? And then I saw you do it, and I was like, I could definitely do this.
Oh, yeah. Look at that guy. If he can do it, he's not even funny. I could be funnier than that guy.
Actually, it was Brendan Graham was the first comedian I ever saw on stage.
That's a good first comedian to see. Set the bar real low.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's see what's going on in Bremerton so far.
It was for a competition, too. And then it was Keenan Lee went up after that.
Even better. Okay.
And by the time I saw those two, I was like, okay, I'm not worried. I can do this.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, Keenan, I love you.
It's so funny, though, how many times that happens where someone in the audience is either heckling or they're uncertain if they want to try it. Like, they want to, but they're too scared, you know? And then out of all the open mics I host, I always like finding that person and then watching them watch the first couple comedians, because usually they're pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And then in their head, you can almost see it when it happens. I could do that. I could be funnier than those guys. I got this. So then I'm like, let's go. And majority of the time, they just shit the bed just like everybody else, you know? And I love it. I don't know why.
I tell my friends all the time, like when they come to an open mic or something, I'm like, dude, you know, some of us, like, we're going up there trying out brand spanking new jokes. So
don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up. Go to a show.
Yeah.
You're paying us, then obviously we're going to do our best work.
Yeah,
but open mics is for us to test out our new material or for new guys to come on stage.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't understand that. You know, they have to be told that, you know. So, but, yeah.
Oh, man, your family think that it's more intense than it really is? Like, my family seems to think I'm one step away from moving to Hollywood.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. They're really supportive. Brag about me all the time, but like to them, I'm like the next Jerry Lewis or Eddie Murphy and stuff like that.
Oh, they love you.
Yeah.
That's all. They just love you.
It's like, this is our sober kid.
Yeah, yeah. No, my family actually, they're not a fan of my comedy because sometimes I pull out stories that have to do with them. You know, because I got tweaker jokes and, you know, all that kind of shit, so.
Oh, yeah. I've totally warned my family altogether. I'm like, I won't
no
call
rules.
Yep. I'm like, I won't call you out by name. I might even change your name altogether if I have to use name, but.
So I noticed that about your comedy. I could look at you like you're a comedy rebel in a sense because you throw out the normal way of doing comedy, set up punchline. You seem to say, I don't need to be that kind of guy, and you're more of a storyteller. And you just talk about things that happen in your life that you think are funny. You know?
All my favorite comedians do that.
Yeah.
Like Christopher Titus, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. You know, like, those are some of my favorite guys, and they all did the same thing. Kathleen Madigan.
Yeah. Yeah. I love when a comedian can paint a picture for somebody. You know, it's so important when you're telling a story to be able to really paint the picture, the place, the location, the who, what, when, and where, why.
Color in the building.
Yeah, exactly. Just like certain little details that really keep people on board. That's one of the nice things.
I've noticed that, like, I'll get lost sometimes when I'm telling a story, you know, and I'll be moving my hand and not even realize it.
Yeah.
And then I'll, like, start moving the microphone because I'm moving this hand and not even thinking about it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. When I watch the video of myself, sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? Because I have this bad habit of, like, doing this with my legs when I'm on stage. Like, just, it looks like I'm running in place almost, you know? It's like, fuck. People have been making fun of me my whole life for it. So sometimes I'm up there on stage and I see the video. I'm like, damn it.
You're like, I did it again.
Yeah. It's weird, restless leg shit. But I think, I notice that with comedians sometimes, you know? Like, they got that little twitch or they got that little thing that they do, you know?
Well, it's like when you go to take a picture and you're not sure what to do with your arms.
Yeah.
You know, like, you sit there and you're like...
Yeah. How do you arms? Yeah. Yeah.
What's side? Push.
Yeah. Peace.
Yeah. Titty twister.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, I like your stories. They're colorful, man. They're colorful for sure.
You were talking about hecklers too, and honestly, like, my favorite heckler happened the other night with that Israeli girl.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, that actually scared the crap out of me because I had a lightning thought go through my mind when she came stepping up on stage and said she was Israeli.
Yeah.
And that was, these people go through 2 years of army training as soon as they turn 18, which means she knows 2 years of Krav Maga, which is 300 ways to karate chop my nuts in half.
Yeah.
And that thought ran through as she walked up. I was like, I'm dead.
And apparently she was in the army for 8 years.
Yeah, see? Could have killed me.
Yeah.
As soon as she walked up, I was like,
but I think she was
shut
actually, I think she was into the technology end, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, but Krav Maga is still a standard for their army
Yeah,
training.
that's true. That's true.
That ain't fucking around.
Yeah. I was waiting for her to punch somebody. I
Yeah.
got the feeling like she was going to punch somebody for sure. She almost picked up Brock. I
Yeah.
had to tell her not to pick up the host, please.
I'm glad Thor grabbed her. He was one of the largest fellas there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But, yeah, I was on the. As far as your comedy goes, what is your what's your time now? You feel comfortable doing?
Actually, about 20 minutes.
Okay, cool.
You know, I get a little nervous with anything under 15
Yeah.
because then I start worrying about, am I going overtime? Am I eating up the mic?
Mhm.
You know, because I know how it is. Like, if you only got 10 minutes per each comedian, and one guy's eating up the mic, every comedian in the room is going, that dick.
Yeah. How do you write your jokes? How do your jokes come to you?
Well, like,
Do you have a method?
I do kind of. I mean, I actually go for walks, or I'll like shut myself into a room and I'll just listen to music and lay there with my eyes closed and think of things that happened throughout the week, or just little tidbits here and there that's happened throughout life, and
Yeah.
think of like ways that, how can I dress this up to make it funny?
Okay. Nice. So you're basically just like playing out the story in your head.
Yeah.
Cool.
When I was a kid, my parents really pushed me to be a writer, and I used to hate it, honestly. Like, I despised it. Every Christmas, I'd get like notepads and pencils, and one year I got a fucking typewriter. I don't know if you've been 13, but typewriters are not cool when you're 13.
Yeah.
Your little brother's opening up G.I. Joes, and you got a fucking typewriter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bobby just got He-Man, Mom. What the hell, man?
I remember using a typewriter. I got frustrated because mistakes. You had to go back and use whiteout. It was just my pages were full of whiteout and just looked horrible.
Yeah. They really pressed the whole writing thing, so I started to learn how, story premise goes and whatnot, and I just kind of go from there. Like, they tell you when you're writing a story, start at the end. Mm-hmm. So I'll start with a punchline, and then I'll think of people around my life that punchline might fit, or sometimes the story is an actual true story that happened, played out right there.
And
so
you just add your little twist to it when you want to.
I'll figure out a way to throw a joke towards the end, so I have the ending fall off and laugh too.
Yeah. Cool.
Like William and the Redhead.
Oh.
That's an actual true story.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Like, that one I didn't have to dress up at all.
Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah, you got some life experience too. I think you have a young soul, so you don't look 39,
Oh, man. Lots of weed.
Yeah, lots of weed.
And Mexican jeans. Brown don't crack.
I think I'm like a quarter Mexican, so yeah. I've been staying out of the sun this year though, man, because when I get too much sun, I start looking exotic as fuck, and man, I don't like the extra attention.
Oh, when my hair's short and I'm shaved and stuff, nobody ever wants to believe I'm Mexican.
Yeah.
They're like, shut up, milkweed. But since I've grown it out, like, my daughter's friend came to pick her up the other day. Mm. And as soon as I opened up the door, she looks at me and she goes, oh my God, you are half Mexican.
Yeah, no shit, man. When I get dark in the summertime, I get profiled different, like by the police at the airport.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. Like it's a thing. Like it's a fucking thing.
I think it's funny, like, to go from here where that kind of thing happens because they're not used to so many Mexicans or whatever, Mm-hmm. And like when I went down to Cali one time, and it was totally different. Like, people knew, but they were still like, yeah, you're still half white, man. You're just a white boy. Shut up.
Yeah. So you got any hobbies outside of comedy?
Gardening.
Gardening. Oh, you like getting your hands dirty, huh?
Yeah.
You like bringing shit to life and
flowers and whatnot. You
okay.
know, really love house plants.
Cool. Is there anything you want to promote that you got coming up?
I'm doing a competition at Northwest Peaks Brewery in Seattle Saturday night.
Nice.
If you guys want to come out and show your support, vote for me. I'll get some gas money to go home with.
All right, Saturday, August 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
outside of that, I don't have anything lined up just yet.
Cool. Well, good luck, and I hope you do well.
Well, thank you.
Man, I don't know about you, but I'm stoned, bro.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Fuck, those joints got me ripped.
We got one more left. Got this 4-pack for here.
We're gonna have to wait on that. All right, thank you for coming out, Billy.
Hell yeah, thanks for having me, sir.
Yep.
Watch comedy in Kitsap.
Your next comedian, he's been all over the state telling jokes. Everybody give a please warm welcome to Billy Campbell, everybody.
Those are interrogation notes.
You can't tell by the way I look, I was the one smoking a joint with your host. So anything he said passed in, my bad. Actually, now that he mentions it, the other night I was over in Seattle and I was doing this show. And when they called me up on stage, they were playing music. And usually when they play music when you're at a show, they cut the music off as soon as you grab the mic. And that did not fucking happen. Which made it very awkward for the next 2 fucking minutes while the crowd's staring at me. And I'm like... And the DJ booth is way up high, so I got nervous and I started trying to tell the DJ to cut the music off. I realized he's up high, so I'm going up higher as I keep trying to tell him. And eventually, I'm right here when he cuts the music off.
That was the house I learned
And
to
everybody's
masturbate.
looking at me.
Fuck, dude. Too close to my house.
I was like, fuck, it's downhill from here.
Now I gotta sell this house.
My name is Billy Campbell.
Billy Campbell.
I do actually live in Bremerton. I've been doing this for about a year now. And it's actually a really strange hobby to pick up. More of a career, whatever. But I can honestly tell you, hanging out with comedians, I've never heard the term, I'm on new meds, so many times in my life. I actually just got a girlfriend. Thank you. I try not to say that too loud because she's still kind of a flight risk. The way we met was actually a very romantic story. We started talking on Tinder. When we first started talking, right, she noticed on my profile, I'm half Irish and half Mexican. And it's actually easier to just say I'm Leprechaun. But she noticed on my profile that, that I was mixed, and she was like, that's pretty interesting. I just did my 23andMe, and turns out I'm half Blackwood. And I'm looking at her profile picture, and I got to level with you. She'd get a sunburn from a nightlight. And I was like, well, you're still kind of cool, so fuck it, Pocahontas, let's go get a beer. You're the only one that heard that? Oh, it gets worse. So we're out on a date, Well, actually, I went to go pick her up first. And we were on our way out to the cars, and we were trying to figure out who was going to drive. And at that moment, this car drives by, and there's a couple in the front seat. And the girl obviously goes down, and the guy's face goes... And, yeah, you know what's going on. I'm like, good for you, buddy. And she's like, oh, that's kind of sweet. I was like, well, I guess I'll drive. We got to the bar, we're hanging out, we're talking, and she was like, do you know any Spanish? And I was like, well, I know, honestly, I didn't get a lot translated when I was a little kid because Grandpa cussed a lot. So nobody's going to tell me what fuck meant in Spanish. And honestly, he called me Joto Mijo until I was 23. And if you guys don't know any Spanish, that translates into gay baby. The other two sentences he taught me, and I think it's because he thought I was gay, was please don't rape me and where are my pants? And she asked me, she's like, why would you learn please don't rape me? And I was like, well, honestly, isn't please don't rape me a good fucking sentence to learn in any language? So me and Sacagawea have been dating for 6 months now. And I think she loves me because she pretends to be asleep before she farts on my leg a bit. And that is, we're a romantic couple. She's actually taller than me, and I've had to tell her more than once to not try and put me up on top of the counter before she kisses me. I met her kids. She has 2 daughters. First time I spent the night at her house, I woke up and they had drawn penises on my face. It was a little disturbing on how detailed the drawings were, too. I'm like, dude, you were fucking 12. Why is there veins on this thing? to be honest, if I get off this mic and my girlfriend is still here, I am going to be so surprised. Oh, man. I have 3 kids of my own. I have a 19-year-old son, a 15-year-old son, and a 14-year-old daughter. And I'm a little surprised I haven't lit any 3 of them on fire because I'm kind of stupid. Like, raising kids, you know, like, honestly, and you guys will learn this. First of all, the soft spot, if you're going to have a self-destruct button, you cannot put that thing out in the open like that shit. I was so scared I hit the reset button on my kids so many times. My first son is like my first apartment. I am not getting the security deposit back on that shit at all. I was raising by myself for the first 2 years when he was born, and I was just barely 18 myself. Like, he was born just before I turned 18. And so, like, I had no clue what to do, and I grew up in a ghetto-ass family. Like, honestly, there's a lot of criminals and gangbangers in my family, and that's just the fucking Irish side. And so when I realized that it was just going to be me and him, I was like, all right, little buddy, I'm going to have to change some stuff. I don't want you to grow up like me, so we're going to move away from that crazy-ass family of mine. And I should probably quit selling pot. And I'm probably going to have to stop puking every time I change a diaper. And judging by the fact that it's been 8 weeks since I had a solid poop, I'm probably going to have to learn how to cook for the both of us. And when you're a kid and you do something wrong and you're in trouble and you need loving advice, you call mom. When you're a kid and you fuck up, you call dad. And like, when I was, 5 months into it, I had to call him up and I was like, Dad, I hate to farm this out to you, man, but it's been 3 days and William's got a Butterfinger stuck in his nose. And I got mine out 2 days ago, but he's starting to attract ants. And my dad just gave the best advice ever. He's like, you have reached my voicemail. Beep. Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good night.